Hello there, I'm the TheNightmareDuke and welcome to another Fallout 76 video where today we're going to be grabbing the Gauss rifle and testing out how much we can get out of it when we focus it around crits. So hopefully you enjoy it, and if you do then hey, consider liking and subscribing, sticking around for more Fallout content, but let's just get straight into things. So recently I took a look at explosive weapons in the latest patch, with the Gauss shotty suffering quite a bit at the moment, but the Gauss pistol and the Gauss rifle were still the same and were consistently getting their one-shot kills as is usual. But how much can we get out of a crit shot, because the latest patch did see crits get changed from multiplicative to additive calculations. So is it worthwhile going all out on crits on something like the Gauss rifle, or is it not going to be doing that much for you? I'll also be checking out and showcasing a crit focused fixer later on as well. So the role we have here is a bloodied VATS criticals do 50% extra damage Gauss rifle. So damage is sitting at 582, and going over to the build we have the usual rifleman setup basically, stacked all the rifle perks there, got tank killer, demolition expert maxed out, nerd raged, better criticals over in luck, as well as follow through in the legendary slot. So a pretty stacked build here. Over to mutations, we also have stuff like eagle eyes helping out our crit damage, and what we are also going to be doing is stacking a few other buffs. So we are going to be popping a magazine, a bobblehead, a chem, a food, and an alcohol buff, and see if it amounts to much or if it's just a bit wasted on something like the Gauss rifle. Of course it will increase the damage, but is it more worthwhile doing that on something like a fixer instead, is the bigger question, because this weapon can already one-shot regular enemies, and for bosses it's not exactly, you know, a DPS machine. It is a rifle, so it is slower, so it's not usually a go-to weapon for that purpose. So over to the behemoth. We're not going to be running any of the buffs for this first test, just the weapon with the build itself. We'll start off with a crit, see how it does, and I'll probably need a follow-up shot, but let's just see. So, wanna drop, go, so 2-1, decent amount of damage there off the crit, and then the follow-up kills him, so let's just compare that now. So over to the crit version, and using all of those buffs, is it going to make a massive difference? And while it is more damage, that's not really a big difference for all of those buffs that we just used. Again, it's already hitting really hard for a lot of damage, so even with all those buffs, it's still going to be a 2-shot kill, the same without them. And it's the exact same thing on the Deathclaw, exact same result, 2-shot kill like before. So at least to me, on something like the Gauss rifle that's already one-shotting regular enemies, using all of the items and stacking them and going for a crit shot isn't really worth it. But on weaker weapons and weapons you intend to use against bosses and automatic weapons, that can be a whole different story. So over to a fixer we go. So I'm going to be using a quad crits do 50% extra damage fixer here against super mutants. Again, same build, we're just using the commando perks now basically instead. And I don't have all of those buffs running at the moment, so we don't get the one-shot kills on the enemies to begin with, but with the crit shot we do. So usually the fixer, 2 to 3 shots depending on your build and roll. So crits can be really useful here against your regular enemies. So against a level 100 here with a crit shot, and we get the one-shot kill, which is really nice to see. And yeah, like I said, I'm not really running many of those buffs at the moment. I think I still have the energy ones going. I think it's only the Blight Soap that is currently helping us out, so I'll just check that. And yeah, just Blight Soap, the Bobblehead, the Tesla. They're going to be doing nothing for us at the moment. But going over to the boss situation, stacking all of those buffs using stuff like Ballistic Bark, Overdrive, the magazine, the bobblehead, all of that. As you can see, Earle's bar is dropping quite nicely from a simple quad crit focused fixer. My friend here had a bloodied fixer, also with VATS doing VATS critical hits, doing 50% extra damage, but he was having some technical difficulties, so the majority of the damage in the beginning here was just that quad initially. So for boss situations on your fast firing weapons, stacking some buffs, it can be really strong build to go for crits, whereas with like a Gauss rifle in the same situation, I just put those points into other perks really and not waste the resources on the buffs and mags and bobbleheads, etc. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. If there's a weapon that you really enjoy using for crits focused build, let me know. And if you have gotten your Gauss rifle to one-shot a behemoth, let me know what you would use it. But I did try with an anti-armor as well, and it was the same 2-shot kill if anyone was wondering about that. But hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, then hey, consider liking and subscribing, sticking around for more Fallout content. Massive thank you as always to the channel members. But for now, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.